Greetings everyone, greetings everyone. Eric Brown, MOBO-Media, MOBO-Media. Hey, I thought I'd hop on here and give some feedback on the recent great event I attended called the 2025 Austin Reggae Festival, held here in Austin, Texas. Had a number of folks to come down here to Fort Worth, between 12 to 14 family members. So that's probably the most family members I've had come down to visit me since being here over 5 years. But it was great to have all the family down, especially seeing a lot of the young ones who I don't see as often as the older ones, obviously. The young ones out doing their thing, and I'm proud of them. But we all had a great time here. The event itself, the traffic was great getting to the event. I mean, it's the easiest traffic I've seen by far, and I've been to 5 of these events, 5. And so traffic was great getting there, crowds getting into the event, parking, everything was just spot on, man. Everything was just perfect. The thing that worried everybody, I think, for a little while there was the weather, because it was forecast to be some rain showers later in the afternoon. And so we were there at a time when you saw the rain clouds starting to brew up on top of us, and wind started to whip up, the weather started to change. And so people started to kind of move around a little bit. And I think some people may have actually left in fear of the rainstorms coming. But as soon as they start playing that good old reggae music, those clouds cleared up, man. I tell you, hearing the vibes from reggae and the Rastafarians, and my man Anthony B, who headlined Saturday night at 8:30 at the festival. Man, it was just great, all around great. One thing I want to talk about maybe a little bit is the food they had there. The food choices were good this year. They were good this year. Lines were long. For me, I think it's an opportunity for anyone who is interested in doing a food truck at one of these events to think about it, because I looked at it before. It doesn't cost that much to rent a space, and the profits you generate, I think, is worth it. Because you had very long lines, and they had this one line for some Caribbean dish. I can't remember what it was, Caribbean chicken or jerk chicken or something. Man, that line was long. It was very long. Rightfully so, because from what I understand, the food was good. You had everything out there from Caribbean noodles to chicken, to the funnel cakes, to turkey legs. They did have the adult alcoholic beverages obviously out there. They had a lot of local IPAs, a lot of local beers out there. But it was a great event. Interesting thing, the park that this is held at is called Zilker Park in Austin. So Zilker Park is a very awesome park. I mean, you can take your dog out, you can hang out, read a book, lay out on a blanket, play soccer, whatever you want to do out there. And the backdrop of Zilker Park is it's Austin. The skyline of Austin is the backdrop of Zilker Park. The thing about it, it's crazy because you really don't notice it because it's so in your face. You don't notice the skyline until later on when the sun sets and then the lights show up and all the buildings are lit up, and it's just beautiful out there. And my family when the lights were changed, they were like, wow, Eric, we didn't even know these buildings were there. I mean, they're sitting right there, just beautiful. Now, I got some videos on my YouTube channel, so definitely go and check some of those out with some of the back skyline of Austin and everything. But it was a great event. The music was great. I always have access to the stage, man. So I was on the side of the stage with Anthony B and some of the other artists out there. And Anthony B gave on a great performance. I mean, he gave on a great classic reggae performance out there. Anthony B is he's collaborated with artists such as Snoop Dogg, man. Back in the day, and he's a well-known reggae artist in Jamaica. But the crowd itself was great. There was no riffraff out there. I think in other videos I talked about, you don't have to worry about a lot of crime and all that type of stuff out there, because the Austin Police Department is in full effect out there. Some of the revenue that's generated from these events go towards some sort of Austin Police fund. I'm not for sure what that's about. But other proceeds go to the local food banks here in Austin, Texas, which I think is great. I think the cops did a great job out there. They were out there, but they wasn't out there so much so to where people were nervous, because obviously people out there, smoking cannabis and smoking weed and everything else. And, the cops didn't want to make folks nervous, so they kind of fell to the backdrop, like behind the bathrooms, along the fence lines, where you couldn't see them. But any little thing that seemed like it was going to pop off, you see the laws pop up out of nowhere, man. They come up out of nowhere. But thank you to the Austin Police Department for the great work you did with keeping everybody safe at the 2025 Austin Reggae Festival. And by the way, this was the 30th anniversary of the Reggae Festival. And so, and by the way, the Texas legislature right now is they're going back and forth on whether to legalize cannabis, hemp, THC, cannabis and THC, not hemp. Hemp is already legalized, and some of these young college kids figure out a way to pull THC out of hemp, and it was a loophole. So legislators didn't intend on doing that, so they're trying to close that loophole now. But they're trying to go even further and just flat out outlaw THC altogether, which I think is a bad move, because all you're gonna do is feed into the black market. Removing THC and cannabis and things like that from Texas, well, not removed from Texas streets, but putting penalties on it for folks that are utilizing these products on Texas streets is not going to decrease the demand. It's not going to decrease the demand. It's only going to increase the pockets of those on the black market. And so it's always been there. It's going to be there. The other states are following in line. There are medical benefits to cannabis, THC. I can go all day with that, but do your research. No one's ever died of THC. I'm one of those type of people that if you ask me what is 1 + 1, I'm going to tell you 2 all day long. Tell me 2 + 2, I'm going to tell you 4. Unless you give me any other reason to think so. And for that same reason, I think it's BS that we put so much emphasis on cannabis and THC and this whole bad stigma associated with it. Yeah, you can go into the store and there are half the damn store are products that are not really good for your health. They're not beneficial for your health, whether it's the alcohol in the stores leading to liver dysfunction, alcoholism, and all sorts of things, or the cigarettes with the cancer and the COPD and the breathing issues and all sorts of crazies, man. The foods in there, the snacks, leading to obesity, and the healthcare, ailments are through the roof because of all these processed foods and things like that. So don't give me the argument that THC or cannabis is bad for you, or the kids they may have access to it. Well, they have access to alcohol and cigarettes all day long, every day. So don't give me that argument. I just think it's time for us to kind of look past the stigma and look at the potential benefits for cannabis and THC. I recall talking to a VA doctor one time. We were just having a side conversation on that, and I asked her, had there been a lot of veterans, within the VA system who are seeking to have THC or cannabis as an alternative treatment method for things like pain and PTSD and anxiety, depression, insomnia. And she said this to me, I never forget. She said, I'm not supposed to tell you this. She said, I'm not supposed to tell you this. She said, you guys do whatever you need to take care of yourselves. She said, because that crap they give you, these pills, it's trash. It's poison. It is literally poison. It's messing up your kidneys, your livers, and all the other stuff. And she said, but she said, I'm not supposed to tell you this. She said, but you do what you need to do to take care of your body. She said, cannabis, in my opinion, and THC are nothing compared to the other toxins and things they introduced to you guys in the interest of caring for those that served. Recently, there was a guy down in Audie Murphy VA Medical Center in San Antonio. I caught one of the news clips a couple of weeks ago. A veteran killed himself at the front entrance to the medical facility, struggling with PTSD for years. He could not get the help he needed. He felt the VA failed him. I tend to believe that VA did fail him, because I've had my own run-ins with VA. Even though I'm a retiree, I can get care outside the VA all day long, but I intentionally went into the VA system just to see for myself the type of care they were giving my fellow veterans, and I was appalled by some of the things I was seeing. There are some great folks at VA, but man, they got a long way to go, because that's not, you're talking about serving those that serve. Somebody needs to serve us. Somebody needs to serve us. But back to the story of Reggae Fest. Got all a little bit off there on a tangent. But it's not a tangent, because THC, cannabis, the Reggae Fest is tied right into healthcare and our care for our veterans and lower healthcare costs and those sorts of things. And so I think it's time to get rid of the stigma. The Texas legislature need to get off its ass and do the right thing. Stop acting like this old backwoods 1930s ass thinking where you had, prohibition and all this other type of stuff, man. So before you start talking about banning THC and cannabis, look at the harm that alcohol and cigarettes are doing to the communities. Talk to the folks in the healthcare industry. They'll tell you if they're allowed to, because obviously sometimes they're under within the healthcare industry where they're under lock and key in terms of what they can talk about. But if you get them in a room by themselves, they'll tell you all day long that the healthcare industry is not set up to make people healthy. Let me just put it to you like that. But the Reggae Fest was great. Weather was great. Food was great. Transportation Easy to get there. I think we took about three or four cars there, maybe 4 cars there, all parked in the same location. Great parking garage with security. Man, I can't tell you enough, man. I can't tell you enough. It was just a great event. 2025 Austin Reggae Festival. And I hear chatter that because of what the Texas legislature is, what they're talking about right now, the back and forth on THC and cannabis, potentially banning it, this could potentially have been the last one. It could potentially have been the last Reggae Festival. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame because I think I was talking in my earlier video, it's a safe space, essentially. It's not just about smoking weed and getting high and all that. It's a safe space. Some people out there don't even smoke weed. Some people don't drink. They come out there just to vibe, man. Just a vibe on one accord, man. Particularly in these times when things are so rough and so tough, people are struggling. Man, it's a great event, I think, where people can come out to a safe space. They know they're going to be safe. Again, hands up to the Austin Police Department. But it's a safe space out there where they kind of unwind and they can become one with a fellow human being like we should be anyway. And they could, begin to realize, again, what true love is all about. True love for one another, man. Like Bob Marley said, one love, man. But you feel nothing but love out there. You don't feel no anger, no hate, none of that stuff, man. You feel just people just vibing. People are courteous, saying, excuse me, thank you, how you doing? It's just a great event. But again, I think the aura of reggae, the aura of Jamaica, the aura of Bob Marley, it was all over that place because that's what brings the best out of people. Those type of vibes, and those are the type of vibes that I'm drawn to. So with that, this is Eric Brown, MOBO-Media. Hey, I thought I'd give y'all some feedback on the Reggae Fest. Reggae Fest was great, man. My family enjoyed it. It was some of their first time being in Austin, some of their first time being in an event like that. But all in all, it was a great time. Everybody got home safe. And let's hope and pray that the legislature does the right thing and allows another year of Austin Reggae Festival. Hey, y'all take care. Eric Brown, MOBO-Media. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to me if you haven't. Like the video, share it. Let me know I'm doing a good job. I want to keep putting out good content, good honest content, because I think there's too much fake stuff out there right now. And one thing about me, you won't find a fake bone in my body. Everything is transparent. And one thing I always tell folks that are in my presence is that don't ask me a question that you really want the true answer to, because you'll get it. Thank y'all so much. Eric Brown, MOBO-Media. I'm out. Bye-bye.